Good day, Brittle Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson, and I'm quarantining from Salt Lake City. And today, it is my pleasure to be joined by Ronnie Atkins. How are you doing today, Ronnie?
I'm doing good, Eric. Doing good.
Where are you
Just
joining
doing
us from?
Sorry?
Where are you joining us from?
I am joining you from Denmark.
Nice.
From Vejle in Denmark, from Jutland. It's just like an hour from the German border, if
Okay.
anybody want to know. But yeah, I'm home. I mean, I'm isolated like everybody else, and particularly me because of my illness.
Yeah.
I'm like in the vulnerable group, so to speak. Just was told yesterday I just got a time now for a vaccine, so I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
So I've been kind of like isolated like everybody else for a year or something. There was like 2 months last summer where they opened up a bit, but now it's total lockdown again.
So everything over there is completely locked down, and you're just hunkered down.
Yeah, I think it's more or less the same all over the world. Isn't it? I mean, it's frustrating for everybody.
Yeah,
everybody. We just want to go out and meet people, and see people, go to concerts.
Yeah, the hardest thing for me, and I've told a couple of people in interviews that the thing I really miss is just going out and giving somebody a genuine hug.
Exactly. I mean, I haven't hugged anybody for a year.
Yeah.
Apart from my French bulldog.
Yeah.
the little terrorist that is sitting next to me. Yeah, and it's screaming for attention. I can see that.
Yes.
No, but I mean, you actually I guess we more or less. You feel like you turn into some kind of antisocial, because you're not allowed to see anybody. The only one I've seen the last since Christmas, the only one I've seen is my wife, my one sister, and my kids, my 2 kids.
Wow.
They're grown up, but but it's so weird, And of course, I have to go to the grocery store now and then and stuff like that. But apart from that, I don't see anybody.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say right out the gate that your new album. One Shot is, to me, it has special meaning. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but I have to say the songs on there are about celebration of life and living your best life. And for a Viking like me, I know the struggles and the importance of this inspiration. So tell me a little bit about the album.
Well, it is an album that I didn't really have any intentions to do a solo album, but it's pretty much an album out of desperation, you can say, because when I got this cancer stage 4 diagnosis, unfortunately, last year just after the lockdown kicked in, it was very unexpected. I mean, I had cancer, but just 6 weeks before I was told I was cured, and they expected me to be cured, right? Of course, I knew I wasn't home safe, and I had to go to control and stuff like that, but it spread to my bones, and that totally pulled the rug underneath me. And so I had all these songs that I felt was too good not to see the light of day, and I just had to focus on something positive, something good, and try to put all the bad things at bay, in that way. And that's why I actually decided to do the album, and I couldn't do anything with anybody because of the lockdown, So my good pretty mate buddy and producer Chris Lane, just kind of said, "Well, Ronnie, send me what you got, and let's look at it, and he pretty much helped me collaborate through all this, and we glued the whole thing together, and in fact it was I felt like. I was because when I got that diagnosis, I went in on the internet and I talked to the doctors, and I went in and checked, and I read the statistics, and don't do that, because that's really bad reading, I mean, and I was desperate, and I was frustrated and a little scared, and I felt I was raising good time, so we did it this way, that we got the songs together. I sent the ideas on my iPhone with a mellotron from my piano and sent it up to Chris up in Stockholm in Sweden. And he did the instrumentation, sent me back a demo, and actually did the finished vocals down here, sent it back to Chris so he could do the real instrumentation.
Wow.
So it was totally upside down, and because normally you do all the basic tracks, and the last things you do is normally the vocals. This time it was totally the other way around.
Yeah.
The last things we did on this album was actually the drums, and that was so weird. I mean, it's so different from what I normally do, but it was great. As I said, it was some kind of a musical therapy for me to try to get away from a real bad situation. And I'm really happy. That's a goal I set for myself, and I'm really happy I did it.
Well, 2020 was pretty much backwards and upside down anyway. So I mean, I can't really say that you did things backwards or upside down because we were in 2020. So
yeah, well, 2020 is just one of these years we could, I mean, just want to get out of our system, right? I mean, it's what a fucked up year that was for everybody, But I mean, when you have like a chronic disease like me, and you're told you're incurably sick, even though you don't feel sick, and then the corona on top, when actually at a time and place where you really want to, where you have the need and you really feel you want to talk to people, you can't meet anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just so such a drag.
So the first.
So hopefully there's some. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So hopefully there's what?
No, but I'm just saying now we got the vaccine program and going and all that stuff, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully, unless there's a new mutation popping up or whatever.
Exactly.
You never know. Sometimes it feels like one step forward and two steps back, right? When you open the television and see the news. So, but let's be positive.
Yeah. So for me, like the song "One Shot," I mean, that says to me, live life to your fullest, because you never know when that one shot's going to be done.
No, exactly, and that is the message of the song. It's not necessarily that I have one shot. That this album, this solo, is my one shot. It may be. We never know.
Yeah.
I mean, we could also be run over by a truck tomorrow. But that's the message. Is that be here now? I mean, seize the day, carpe diem.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, because I mean, don't save the best for last, because I know it from myself. I know it from my own parents, who was like, we come from a working class family, and they worked hard on factories and stuff and saved the money till they got older, and then they wanted to start traveling and stuff like that. I have 3 siblings, so I have enough kids to feed, And what happened was that my mother died at the same age as me, actually, 32 years ago, of lung cancer.
Wow.
And they never got anywhere,
Yeah.
So it's I know a little bit what I'm talking about. So yeah, that song is about that. That's what that song. That's the message of One Shot. And then there are other songs on the album, like Realism, kind of reflecting on my life and stuff like that.
Yeah. Another song that I really enjoyed was Subjugated. I mean, to me, that song is just about break free from what holds you down. And
yeah, but it depends on how you view it and how you look at it. It is actually basically a song about narcissism.
Ah, okay.
Well, it could be both ways. It can work both ways. So, but I mean, any which way. I mean, the lyrics. Some of the more. I mean, this album. I mean, the lyrics on this album is, of course, more personal.
Mm-hmm.
More emotional, probably more reflecting, melancholic than I've been on any other album I've ever done. Because of my situation.
Yeah.
And the lyrics are, even though I listened to them today and I wrote some of them a year ago, and I still feel good. And it might sound like, well, that was over dramatizing things. No, it wasn't, because that's how I felt at the time.
Exactly.
And so in that way, the lyrics I can always defend because they're very honest.
So my one question for you about some of the songs, one of the songs is, I love Miles Away, and I love the backing vocals in the chorus. And my favorite part of the song is where you talk about the friend in need and the friend indeed. And what was the meaning behind all that song?
Well, that song is also a very personal song, because that song is one big love dedication to my wife. She's always been there. She's been with me in this through all this illness since day one, and she's been with me for the last 35 years.
Yeah.
So that's what the song is about. She's always there, and I can go around, travel around the world. Play the clown, do the whole rock and roll thing, put on that other cap, and then I return home and she's still there. and she'll tell me to walk the dog and do the lawn and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
which is great. It's always nice to have her to come back to.
yeah. I am like
So
I said, that's one of my
that's
favorite
dedicated to
songs.
her.
That's one of my
I
favorites.
like the song as well. And also you said about the kind of gospel feeling it has, actually,
Yeah,
the choir.
yeah.
It's because I got, like, on this album, I got Linnea Wikström, who is a 27 or 28-year-old female vocalist from Stockholm, one of Chris's friends, who's also in this At the Movies project he's doing.
Okay.
And she's singing on four of the songs, and she's an awesome, amazing song. And she arranged those choirs. It sounds like a fucking gospel choir.
It does. It
She's
does.
done an absolutely awesome gig on the awesome job on this album, and very, very skilled, very talented. And her father is actually a guy called Thomas Wikström, who is in this band called Therion.
Oh yeah.
So she has it. She. It's not totally new to her. I mean, it must be in the genes,
Yeah, yeah.
But she's done an amazing job, like everybody else who plays on the album. So I'm very, very, very happy for that.
So when you listen to these songs, and I'm sure it did when you wrote them, but did it inspire you as much as they? I mean, they inspire me when I listen to them, just because I feel like they're very uplifting and stuff. But what was the process for you? Was it very therapeutic for you to be able to do that?
Well, I think it was just, I mean, for me, a good song is a good song. If whether I write it on piano, some of the songs on this album was written on piano, because I bought a new piano in January last year, and I'm glad I did, because One Shot was written on piano, and so was Miles Away. Those two songs were particularly. It inspires you in a different way, and well, I don't know. It was just a good way, lyrically and musically, to get my inner frustrations out of my system, I guess.
Yeah. I know when I was going through the same thing, they said a lot of times they would say, don't focus on the long term, focus on the short future. And so for me, I did writing, and I did some of that stuff. I worked on photography, and that really helped. And I wondered if that kind of a thing helped you too mentally.
Well, absolutely. That's what I said before, that this album has been some kind of musical therapy for me, to focus on something positive, to focus on what I love doing the most, the best, and that's writing songs and singing, and that's music in general. Music is my life. So that's what I used this album for. That's the goal I set. And I knew that I couldn't think in long terms at the time being, because I knew my future was uncertain. So, but I could say that, okay, I want to do this album. It's important for me to do this album. At least I want to finish my vocals, and then they can do the instrumentation afterwards, because I had all these songs. And that's seriously how I thought,
Yeah.
Now I'm still here, and actually see the album will be released in 2 weeks from now. But at the time being, when we started off this thing, I wasn't too sure about that. I didn't know if I would be alive when the album came out.
Yeah.
So it was a weird situation.
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Pretty surreal.
So turning the subject to something lighter, what is something you have enjoyed during the pandemic doing?
Well, doing this album.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, doing this album, I mean, I can't do a hell of a lot. I try to, keep my daily routines.
Yeah.
And I'm on a program called Medical Fitness in the gym. There's not many people. Only allowed to be few people there at the same time.
Uh-huh.
I do that to keep my cardio going, to keep in shape, and on the cross train or biking a little bit, whatever, and do some long walks in the woods. I'm living right next to the woods, and watch some television, watch some series, some movies, write songs, sit by the piano with the guitar, whatever, That's really all I do.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you've seen any good movies.
No, sorry.
So have you seen any good movies, or have you binge watched any series or anything?
Yeah, I've seen movies and series, and that's all I've been able to do. I just went through the Crown, I've just seen all the episodes of that one, So I mean, normally I'm not very good at series, because I after the first 2 seasons I get fed up with it. Apart from the Game of Thrones, I was totally hooked on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I do. I just try to, and also try to maintain as much as the person I've always been
Mm-hmm.
to all this. To keep the, still be, trying to be positive. Trying to. I still like a good glass of wine, having a beer with a neighbor and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I'm not hysterical. It's not that I only eat vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much living the same life. I don't smoke anymore, but
Yeah.
but and also try to keep, maintain my humor. I always had a pretty sick kind of humor, I guess. Humor has always been very important for me. A good laugh, trying to be that. Not I'm just trying not to be a bitter man. Just sitting down, feeling pity for
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
and that's where the music helps me.
Do you have any other
And then
project?
I
Oh, sorry. Go
say,
ahead.
yeah, no, you go ahead.
I was just going to ask you if you had any other projects you were working on, is pretty made stuff, or if you or anything else.
No, I don't. I've been offered to work on a project. I don't know. I haven't decided whether I want to do it or not.
Okay.
But I'm no. I'm right now. I might write some music or be a part of it for other artists. I can't say when or
Yeah.
who.
Yeah.
But I have some options.
Good.
But right now, I'm back to the most important thing for me, and that's what I want to focus on. That is, to write some more songs, do some more music, for myself. Actually,
Yeah.
that's the thing right now. That's my focal point right now. So that's what I just going through all my ideas and stuff like that, and see what I could use this for that and stuff like that. And I'm still writing. It comes in periods.
Yeah. What about Avantasia? You heard from Toby at all, and is he doing anything or?
I know he's working on an album. I speak to him now and then. I'm in contact with the Advantageous staff. We got this app on the phone and stuff. I speak to Oliver Hartman now and then. I know he's
Nice.
up to something. I know he's writing on a new album, Toby, and when it comes out, I don't know and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think everything is uncertain because of this COVID thing.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't really want to put out an album now and then tour in a year and a half from now, something
Exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of timing thing in it. But that's really all I can say. As for Pretty Mates, there's no plans either.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and the thing is, for me, it's difficult to plan by all means because I don't know where I am in 3 months or 6 months from
Exactly.
now. So
Exactly.
I can't set up a tour like a 6-week tour or something like that here in Europe. Partly because of Corona or COVID-19, and partly because of my own situations.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean my big dream is to go back on stage, absolutely, in some constellation, and that's also another goal that I'd
Yeah.
like to reach.
I was curious. I'm curious when you were on tour. I saw you here in the United States with Avantasia. How was it touring with Avantasia and doing your parts on Avantasia and not being on stage for the full time and kind of taking a break and then coming back?
I was sitting in the bar.
Yeah.
No, we having good fun during those. I mean, the shows are. I can't remember in America. Was that 3.5 hour show? Or
Yes,
was it
it
2.5
was. It
hours?
was
3.5. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Something like 3.5 hour shows. But I mean, basically we just having a good time. I mean, there's no ego shit in that band.
Yeah.
Even though we're like 6, 7, 8 singers, whatever, and all the musicians, it's like one big family, and we all really enjoyed it, had a real good time. And so we just like joking around backstage while the other guys are on, or being on the side of the stage. We always have on the side of the stage, we have like a table with some red wine and stuff like that.
Nice.
You got to be careful sometimes, but sometimes you can get a little tipsy, before the very last song,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and for me in particular, it's pretty weird to go on stage for the first couple of songs. I think I was on for the second and the third song, and then I was off for an hour or something.
Yeah,
like before
yeah.
I re-entered, and that same goes for the other guys. And you have to pace yourself a little bit when it comes to the wine drinking.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely good fun. I've been doing 3 Avantasia tours now. It's fabulous. It's really amazing. It's a great camaraderie. There's a great chemistry between everybody. As I said, no ego shit, and it's just good fun. We're traveling, good hotels, and playing big venues, and particularly here in Europe,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
Germany is like 4,000-5,000 seaters and stuff like that. It's America is less, of course, because it's not as big as Germany
Yeah.
market wise for Avantasia. So it's been good fun wherever we went. I've seen the world. We went this last time. We went to Australia as well,
Yeah.
and of course South America and America, and absolutely great, fantastic.
Do you have any? I'm just curious, since you're a big, you have a sick sense of humor. Did you play any jokes on any of the guys from Avantasia?
I probably did. I mean, my pal in the band, no, they're all my pals, my friends. But I spent most of the time with Eric Martin. We joined the band at the same time. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of fun
Yeah.
together. We have a lot of fun together. So we're all having fun together.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I can't really think of any particular
Okay.
ones that I did. I probably did.
Yeah. Well,
But they pulled the
Ronnie,
joke on me.
I appreciate your time, and it's been amazing talking to you. And everybody, go pick up One Shot on March 12th. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite albums of the year so far. I reviewed it, and one of my closing thoughts on it was whether or not One Shot will be known as one of your most popular solo works is yet to be determined, but the passion and emotion delivered in it will solidify this album as a pinnacle piece of your career. And
Happy to hear that, man. Happy to hear that, Eric.
I feel like
Well,
it's a great album as far as emotion and passion. So
okay. Thank you, but I'm happy. I mean, that was my aim,
yeah,
So I'm just very happy about the result. What I had was basically 11 good songs that could have gone in different directions.
yep,
But as I said, I thought it was important to make it suitable for the fans and followers that followed me for the last 30, 40 years, and that I think it is.
yes,
And if it's a bit more emotional and melancholic and stuff like that, there's a reason for it.
yep.
So I'm just happy for the reception I've had and seen so far. So really cool.
Well,
Really
thank
happy
you
about
again,
that.
Ronnie, and we will chat soon. And stay safe.
Thank you, Eric. You too, man.
Okay, we'll talk
Nice
soon.
talking to you.
All right, bye.
We will.